Hello, everybody. How are you? Hope you're having a great night. So, I was looking to see what Chantal had been up to today. Allegedly, she went to the doctor. She got one of those glucose meters, which give the readings. Her reading tonight was over 13, which is extremely high. She was also baked out of her mind, and she was talking about her various health issues, although she swears that she's fine when we know she's not fine. And so, what are we doing tonight? Well, we got the Twitter peeps. We've also got a react that I would like to do to the lovely, talented, and always wonderful to listen to Miss Sansa Cooks. But I was looking for some unique retro stuff to do tonight. And I happened to come across a live that was done. Or no, I'm sorry, excuse me. A video that was done about 2 years ago by someone by the name of Pastor Tony. Now, what makes this unique is that Pastor Tony, he used to weigh 671 pounds. So he's reacting to Chantal and giving his insight. And I thought I would sit in and react to what he was saying. Also, he's reacting to a video made by Kiana. Is it Doherty? Yes. But he's giving his valuable insight to what it is to be that heavy, and I guess food addiction. So I thought this would make a very unique retro react. So doing the Twitter peeps, reacting to Sansa Cooks, and also to Pastor Tony and his insight to what's going on with Chantal. So I hope you guys enjoy the retro react. And I know it's kind of late, but I was going to go on earlier, but there was a power outage here. There was a storm. So sorry to get here a little bit late in doing this, but For those that don't happen to catch it right now, you can always catch it on the replay. All right. So, are you guys ready to get into the Twitter peeps? Because we got some stuff to go over. Let me just go ahead and get started with this. Let's get into, doggone it, where is it? There it is. Let's get into the Twitter peeps. All right, we're going to get into the Twitter peeps. Well, hello, Mary. I had a very lovely day. I did watch 10 minutes of lying Chantal after the doctor's appointment. She can't even lie correctly. I laughed so hard I went on to enjoy my day. Yeah, well, lying liar who lies. And all that her lies do is just, they're not hurting us. She's hurting herself by lying to herself. What can you do? Not much. Let's get on to the Twitter peeps, though. So, for those of you that are on Twitter and you want to follow me there, Wild Girl Sarah. For those of you not on Twitter, I do the peeps, bring them here, and that way you guys can see all the girl world stuff without having to get on the Bird app. So, you want to see what was happening tonight? For those that missed it, Doc Remy LeBeau says she got so burnt that she put her glucose monitor on the wrong arm and now she can't seal. We found the source of the depression. Okay. What's happening here? Let's see.
I put my Dexcom, my glucose monitor on my arm, but I put it on the wrong arm. Hey, Fable. So, I wanted to put it on this arm because I seal on this arm. So now I have to seal somewhere else. I put my...
I was going to take my glucose reading, but then I got high. Maybe you should get high after you take your reading. If you're going to do it, why do it before then? What did she smoke or what did she take that she's this high this early? What? Chantal, you're an entire mess. Putting the meter on the wrong arm. I'm not a nurse. Does it matter which arm you put it on? Do you have to put it on one specific arm? Why can't it be the other arm? I don't know. I'm not a medical professional. But I guess you're supposed to put on one specific arm. I don't know. It's weird. What are you doing, Foodie? You're an entire mess over there. Doc Remy LeBeau says her blood sugars have gone up 2 points and hit the alarm level just in the 38 minutes she sat fatly during the stream so far. So, holy crap. It can be any arm. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Libra. So, yeah. I thought she was taking care of her health. What happened? It's already at 13 and the night's not even over. So can you imagine how much it's going to go up over the course of the evening when she has her cravings and she starts to satisfy her cravings? It's really going to start climbing. And I've heard that she's got one of those monitors that it sounds an alarm if it goes too high. And knowing Foodie, she might try to disable the alarm so it doesn't tell on her. Because, that would just be a Chantal thing to do. Piggy says, Foodie's current weight, supposedly. So Chantal's claiming that she weighs 392 pounds. Okay, with Chantal, you got to know that she subtracts 100 pounds off of the actual weight. So if she says she's 392 pounds, that means she's actually 492. She always stays in the 300s. So we're creeping ever closer to what her true weight is. So she's pretty much confessing that she's 500 pounds. Well, we've been known about that. We knew. It's not a shocker the way she's been eating. Doc Remy LeBeau says, look how she pretends that she didn't disable that glucose alarm. Let's watch.
Actually, this is really good because it can tell you, yeah, it's supposed to have an alert. Maybe it will, don't know why it isn't alerting me. Actually, this is really good because it can tell you, yeah, it's supposed to have an alert. Maybe it will. Don't know why it isn't alerting me.
Yeah, knowing Foodie with a meter like that, that alarm's going to constantly be going off. Stormy says this vile beast is lying. Foodie Beauty rule number one: kidney function is good with an A1C of 10. Her cholesterol and liver function normal? No way. I knew she was going to say all resorts normal, guys, except for my diabetes. Listen, you guys are going to see a clip in the Twitter peeps. It's kind of a retro clip, but it's still a very valuable clip. That clip is from 2020, where she's talking about her liver. Chantal has said she has non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and she talked about her liver being 3 times the size of normal. And that was back in 2020. And here we are, 2026. Can you imagine what her liver looks like these days? I don't know if it's bigger. She might have cirrhosis of the liver, but if her liver is extremely compromised and damaged, it's not functioning normally. There's just no way. That just can't happen. Not possible. All right. Kristen says, buckle up, bitches. Foodie Beauty just got prescribed a short-acting insulin. Further, she states that her blood test showed normal liver and kidney function, no issue with cholesterol, high testosterone, and an A1C of 10. Yes, I did see a clip earlier where she said that her testosterone level is extremely high, which doesn't surprise me. She should have been on hormone replacement therapy like ages ago. Maybe that might explain why she's losing her hair. I'm not exactly sure. But she did have her hysterectomy. She was supposed to be on HRTs. That never happened, which might have led to other problems later. So let's watch the clip and see what she has to say.
So my insulin, I have to basically wait for him to call me to pick up a receipt, a prescription because
Hey, hold on, Foodie. Wait a minute. Thank you, Libra, for the super chat. Absolutely no one with her abdominal girth and diet has a normal liver. She is such a horrible liar. Yeah, you know what? Foodie, like lying liar who lies. We can't trust her. How do we know she even went to the doctor? How do we know? We don't know. She could have lied about the entire doctor visit and just gotten a monitor off of Amazon for all we know. We don't know. I mean, I'm just going to say it. I think that one or more of her feeders has a medical fetish. Well, thank you, Mish Pond. Hi, Rose in chat. Foodie did things in preparing for the labs. She should have taken the first pee in the morning. She was drinking water before all this. The Libra will show results every second of the day. She won't go back. Nope, if she went at all. Again, how do we know she didn't just buy some stuff off of Amazon to make it look like she went to the doctor? Can you get one of those monitors on Amazon or eBay or something? I'm convinced that one or more of her feeders has a medical fetish to go along with the food fetish, and they get off on the idea of somebody who is the feedie getting sick. So she has to constantly talk about her lack of health and, oh, the blood test and going to the doctor and I'm so sick. And she's doing that for somebody in her audience. I'm convinced somebody in her audience has a medical fetish along with a food fetish. Oh, thank you, Nesh. You don't need a prescription for them, but they are expensive. Well, even if they are expensive, if somebody in her audience has a medical fetish, I'm sure they would fork over the money for her to get one. You know, like they'll pay for it. If she doesn't want to pay for it, they'll pay for it if it's part of their role play. Okay, so where are we? Here we are.
Like, um, he wants to figure out like the proper dose and medicine. Like, he's putting me on a short-acting insulin as well as the long term. So he's trying to figure out like what dosing to start me on, and he needed more time to look into it. So, plus with the Ozempic, like he doesn't want my blood sugar to crash with all three of those. But he's like, until you get like you're eating under wraps.
I'm just going to say something. I know she's a diabetic and she needs her insulin. But whoever is prescribing her that insulin, they really need to keep an eye on how much she's getting because she's not using it properly. She's not taking her insulin the way that a normal person with diabetes would. I feel she's abusing her insulin. She's not using it to manage her diabetes. She's using it to manage her B moments. And she's taking too much, which might lead to insulin resistance. I don't know if she's doctor shopping and getting more. Like, I'm not a diabetic. I don't know the whole process with that. But she just on the max doses of metformin and I think another medication, plus she takes her insulin. So it's like whoever her doctor is, they really need to monitor how much insulin that she's prescribed. She's self-dosing, she skips metformin. I wouldn't doubt that. Little Bulgur, look who's here. It's Bulgers. It's Bulgur Kitty. For those that are here for the Queen is here. Hi, Bulgers. Somebody's trying to tell me to go to bed. This is their way of trying to tell me to go to bed. Hey, baby. You want me to go sleep? You want me to go sleep? She admitted online that she skips metformin. Is she skipping it, or is it that she can't get the prescription refilled? We don't know if she's still got the script going, or maybe she just can't get the metformin anymore. Because it doesn't seem normal for her to skip the metformin. That's pretty important. So is she skipping it, or she just can't get it any longer? It's your boogers. Hi, baby. Look at this sadness right here. Look at this sadness. With the baby, with the face. With the little face. Oh, look at the scratchy chin. All right, back to the Twitter peeps, boogers. Oh, okay. You know what? You know what? Now I know she's lying. Press X to doubt. So her doctor is, they're referring her to do the Ozempic again. And then if that doesn't work, they're going to recommend her for weight loss surgery, with her being an active food addict. And she's not in recovery for that. Press X to doubt. I mean, if this doctor is a real doctor, he would look at all her health issues and say, this one's high risk. We put her on the table. She may not get back off alive. Every single one of her vital organs is compromised. even if we gave her WLS, would that be wise with her having a food addiction? Because we could reduce the size of her stomach, but we can't cut the addiction out of her head. So like that, this conversation with the doctor, no, that would never happen. I don't think she saw anybody. That's not right. I know, right, Coco? Listen, I've known a couple of people that had WLS. There's a whole process you have to go through. Foodie wouldn't even be able to complete even half of the requirements. Like before the surgery, you have to be on a liquid diet for a little bit, to clean out your system because they can't take you in there with a full gut of waste. She wouldn't be able to do that. Like there's a whole thing you got to go through. What's that? Thank you, Kiwi. I think she may have seen someone and was told things she absolutely did not like. So she made up a story. She seemed angry and upset during her live. Well, here's the problem. It could be because of her seeing a doctor. She could have been upset because of Natter or Salah. Like you just don't know anymore what she's really mad at. She's not going to come out and say what she's mad at. She could be mad at one thing and then take it into a complete different direction and lie about why she's angry because she's hiding the real reason why she's mad. But no doctor is going to give her WLS. No. That would be dangerous with all of her health conditions. Even if she made it off the table, she's going to want to have a B moment. You can't do that after WLS. You'll bust your stomach open. You'll make yourself sick. So no, that's not an option, Foodie. Kelly says Foodie Beauty is lying. She looks like she was crying. Well, you said she was angry at something. I don't know what she was mad at. Hey, hello, Inferno. So what's she mad at? I don't know. Why are you looking all mad, Foodie? Who pissed you off today? MJK23 says, I know Foodie Beauty is a lie about her labs. This woman is actively blanking from kidney failure before our eyes. Warning signs of kidney failure, extreme tiredness, fatigue. She's got that. Nausea and vomiting. Don't know if she's got that. Confusion or trouble concentrating. Definitely has that. Swelling, edema, particularly around the hands or ankles. She's got that. Poor appetite or food may taste metallic. Have no idea. Peeing less than usual or not peeing at all. Don't know. Dry or itchy skin. Well, she's constantly scratching anymore. So she's got quite a few of those going on already. Hectic Llama says the entitlement is off the charts. Does she have any idea how many people would love to be able to be reimbursed for GLP-1s? But she's just pissed off she had to pay up front first. And look, there's our beloved Pulpy. Let's watch.
Patience.
And Wegovy are not covered, and it's like $500 a month. So Ozempic is covered, but I'm still I had to fucking pay out of pocket for this shit today. Another $400 till my fucking receipts get submitted.
Oh, she's so pissed.
Yeah, and you'll get reimbursed for it later, though, Foodie. There's a lot of us that pay for medical. We don't get reimbursed. You're getting reimbursed. Shut up. Shut up. Miss Blue says, Foodie Beauty mocking the idea that she spent $4,000 a month on DoorDash. She's easily spending $100 a day on takeout coffees plus $200 to $300 every few days on groceries. That's more than $4,000. I wish we could scour her app. Well, she gave us the numbers. She told us she spends $100 a day on takeout, right? $100 times 30 days is $3,000. I mean, we all went to school, right? We can add and do multiplication. $100 a day times 30 days is $3,000. Then you add in the coffees, you add in the snacks, you add in the groceries. That's easily 4 grand. So how are we wrong? We just ran the numbers. That's what they came up to, ma'am. Two-tailed caperer says the anyway sideways glance before looking at chat is Foodie's sign that she wants to launch into a rant about Salah, how he's ignoring her messages again, blaming it on poor connection and sleeping. You can see it in her eyes, but I think she's too high to rage at the moment. Well, maybe that's the reason why she's high. If she's mad at Salah, she has to get extremely high so she doesn't blurt off at the mouth about what's really going on. You know, she's got to find a way to shut herself up. Kelly says Foodie Beauty and Salah had a big fight. She's doing that stare off into the distance thing again. She still looks like she's been crying.
I'm just really burnt. I'm really stoned right now. Anyways. I don't know if I can make cabbage rolls right now. Like, I really think I just underestimated how burnt I would get. But I'm really depressed also. Like, I'm just really down. I seem sad. Yeah, Pooh. I know. I'm just like kind of down.
Can I just, okay, you know what? You know what I'm picking up here? Duper's delight. You know that her looking down. I'm really depressed, guys. I'm really depressed. Duper's delight. She's doing the Duper's delight. When you're not really depressed, but you're trying to act depressed because you want attention. Look at her looking down when she says she's depressed. Yeah, she's sad fishing for money. You got it. Money, attention, all that. She's a really bad actress. You know that? Really bad.
You know what I mean? Maybe when I feel really down, I should just take a break and not come on, like a sick day.
And another characteristic of when she's doing the performative depression act. Clock it, chat. Notice she's not wearing her makeup today. Isn't that something? And she does that when she wants extra attention, when she wants to look extra vulnerable or depressed or sad. She makes sure to come on camera and not wear her makeup. She's done that before. So notice there's not a trace of makeup on her face. She's got the filters on, but no makeup. Yeah, thank you, Libra. Her mental health is not our problem, right? That's what she said about Pete's, precisely that. And I don't know if you guys will agree with me. I'm just saying my thoughts. Here's how I feel about Foodie. I'm tired of hearing about the problems. I don't want to hear about the problems no more. You know what I want to hear? If she wants to say it, stop bringing your fucking problems to the internet, Foodie. Instead of talking about the problems, talk about the solutions. All you do is talk about the problems, but you don't follow up the problems with the solutions and the answers. You put your problems on people. And we all have our days, you know. Well, we're going through our stuff. We got problems. But at the same time we have our problems, we're looking for solutions. We're looking for answers because we don't like the problems. And we're like, I got this problem. I got this problem. What can I do about it? All she does is dump her problems on people, that heavy weight of the problems. I'm sick to death of hearing about the problems. She needs to turn over a new leaf. And what are the solutions to these problems? Where are the answers? Are you looking for the answers? Are you looking for the solutions? No? Then shut the fuck up. Why are you taking your problems and throwing them out on Front Street when not a single person can help you with said problems? Like, why do we have to smell your dirty laundry? Clean it and hang it up to dry. Sick of hearing about all the problems. Tell us the solutions. Tell us the answers. Don't talk about the problems all day. Damn it. And get your ass off the internet when you're this high, dumb bitch. We don't want to see you this high. Why can't she just get high off camera? Is it so hard to do a live stream, get it out of the way, get it done, and as soon as you're done, then blaze up if you want to? Why does she have to come on camera high? She's not even funny when she's high. She's not more entertaining when she's high. She gets too high, and then she can't talk, and then she looks silly. Chantal, save that for after the camera's turned off. Being high is so cool, guys. Well, you know what, Liv? There's being high, and then there's just stupid high. She's stupid high. She gets stupid high. She gets stupid when she's high. She needs to save the blazing up time for when the camera's turned off, and then she can just go veg out if she wants to. Yeah, she doesn't even look like Foodie anymore. Like she's off in another world somewhere. But, you know, she turns the camera on and she can't function. Let's see. Doc Remy LeBeau says she was not too stoned and depressed to bounce her boobies around. Sorry, y'all. I had to see it. You know the rest. No. I hate that rule. Who came up with that? I want to have a word with them. I don't like that rule. If I had to see it, then you all have to see it. Who came up with that? We need to do an investigation, girl world. Who is the first one to come up with that rule? I want names. I want to know who came up with that. I need to have a conversation with them, but let's play it.
Bees, Maxie. I could do the bee. What? Why your boobs are bouncer? Bees, Maxie. I could do the bee. What? Why your boobs are bouncer?
This is another reason why she shouldn't get high. She acts ridiculous and she thinks it's cute. She thinks it's quirky. It's just stupid. She looks absolutely ridiculous acting this way. What the F is that? I don't know. Megan. Megan's like, I have no words. I have no words for any of this. I got nothing. I don't even know what to call this. I can't describe this at all. All right, Doc Remy LeBeau says Chantal is up to 392 pounds if we believe her. Okay.
I weigh 178 kilograms.
Lies.
I don't know what that is in pounds.
392.
I weigh 178 kilograms.
That's a lie. Press X to doubt on that one. Get your ass on a cattle scale and we'll see. Oh boy, here we go again. Two-Tailed Keeper says, Salah, your modest, pious wife is twerking for random men on live stream. Or are you okay with Chantal cheating on you since she's okay with you cheating on her? Anyway, please come get her before we all go blind as a trauma response. Oh no. Chad, are you ready? I'm not ready, but I have to do this. Modest Miriam over there. That really wasn't twerking. That was just Foodie like jumping up and down, trying to twerk. Twerking actually involves a lot more than just bouncing up and down. I have seen women twerk on YouTube. It looks like an entire workout. It works your butt, but it also works your thighs, your hips. There's some skill with twerking. So she's not twerking. She's just jumping up and down, shaking her butt. It is an entire workout. I've seen some professional grade twerkers, and like that's some muscle skill right there. You're using all of your lower body. It's crazy. But what she's doing ain't twerking. She's trying, though. She's trying. Bad C Reaction says, Foodie Beauty, this sums it up. Yeah, well, aren't we all jealous of her looks? Hotter than 90% of us. She's hot, y'all. She's real hot. We can all wish to maybe aspire one day to Chantal's level of hot. We're all just jealous morons, like Goose Chuck said. All right. Shay says, you're a horrible liar. It's sad to see someone so hell-bent on lying just to eat food. Why would you think you could have an A1C of 10 and have a healthy anything? Okay, so information. If I have an A1C of 10, would my kidneys, liver, and cholesterol be fine? The answer is no. Your kidneys, liver, and cholesterol would likely not be fine. An A1C level of 10% indicates severe, prolonged high blood sugar, which actively damages blood vessels and organs throughout the body. Because diabetes is a systematic metabolic condition, a high A1C rarely exists in isolation without negatively impacting your renal system, liver function, and lipid profiles. All right, so kidneys, diabetic neuropathy, high blood sugar forces your kidneys to filter far too much blood. Over time, the microscopic, delicate blood vessels inside the kidneys become scarred and leaky. Ouch. Well, that sounds painful. That doesn't sound good. And it certainly doesn't sound like a normal liver or kidneys. Okay. Moving on. Oh, and this is the clip that I was talking about. Thank you, Kristen and Regina. Kristen says at the end of 2020, she was told she had non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and her liver measured 29 centimeters. Just for funsies, Google what the average length of an adult female liver is in centimeters. Yes, Chantal told us long ago that her liver is 3 times the size of normal. There's no telling how much bigger it is now. There might be the possibility of cirrhosis of the liver scarring. But let's see what she has to say.
And my liver is like, I think 29 centimeters now, or it grew a whole bunch. And my liver is like, I think 29 centimeters now, or it grew a whole bunch. And my liver.
Yep. So that was back in 2020, and this is 6 years later. So who knows what it looks like now? It's probably an entire mess. All right. So Angie says, I'm not one to say I told you so, but I knew Foodie Beauty bought this fake marriage from the get-go. She bought a man who wanted to go to Canada. Her ego is so inflated. She was convinced she could make him love her. She was never scammed. Yep, she told on herself. Like I said, I think it was very transactional. He wanted to get to Canada. She wanted a way out of Canada because of her taxes and her debt. So she ran to the Middle East and she baited the hook and said, I'll help get you to Canada and I'll pay you. So he took her up on her offer. So it was a business deal. She was the employer. He was the employee. They helped each other out, although she did not help him get to Canada, which is really what he wanted. So, she wasn't completely lied to. They lied to each other. She lied to him. He lied to her too. They're both lying liar who lies. Sarah Abbey says, Foodie Beauty pretty much admitted that her and Salah aren't together or married. She slipped in her words saying she misses male affection, but just from Salah because she's comfortable with him, not because she married to him and he's her man, but she's comfortable with him. So here's this transcript saying, you know what I mean? I miss male affection. Hello. But just from him because I'm comfortable with him. I'm introducing the food to new people. It's not like I don't like doing that. Oh, well. So she misses male affection. You know what's odd? I don't think Salah ever touched her. He was never affectionate with her. Thank you, Sunshine. Lurk, see, sometimes interact. You're very wonderful. Thank you. I really do love your cat, Booger. Her tarot readings are insightful. Thanks for just being you. Thank you, Sunshine. I appreciate you. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that very much. But you know who this is sounding like that she's talking about? Nads. I don't think Salah ever gave her any attention or affection, because she kind of said the same thing about Nads, that she liked Nads because she was comfortable with him, and maybe he was physical. Nads was more physical with Foodie than Salah ever was. Just it's very odd she's saying that about Salah, because from what I saw, Salah never touched her. Yeah, all that Salah did was head pats and, cheek squeezes and all that. All right, El Bunny said, this is the animal related. El Bunny says, a guy was hearing weird noises outside his house. He went out and there were two kangaroos beating the crap out of each other. Super spicy, the fight. Okay. So y'all think some people on Twitter got beef? Let me show you how the kangaroos get down. Whoa.
Boys. Ooh.
I think I know what started the fight. I think one kangaroo tweeted at another kangaroo saying, your mother was a koala, and that's why they're fighting out in the yard. So the other kangaroo tweeted back, meet me outside. Meet me outside for saying that shit. I'm going to pull up right now. That's what started the whole thing. Somebody got fresh with their words and said, your mother was a koala. and they had to settle their beef. Yeah, see what words can do even for kangaroos.
Nothing sitting here anymore.
You're even pantsing.
Yeah.
Well, careful.
Yeah, see, this is why I know you guys are probably, most of you will never ever see a kangaroo, but from a distance they look cute, but don't be fooled. Kangaroos are very, very powerful. They're jacked. They are all muscle. They are jacked. So you see how they're fighting each other? Imagine what they could do to a human. They're very powerful animals.
Oh,
Push yourself to really precious kicks, aren't you? That shows over those. Did you see?
Yeah, imagine like being in your house and you're seeing this all go down in the front yard. That's just crazy. Friday night fights. All right. Okay. Looking. What is this? Belly of the Beast. Y'all are going to hate me for this clip. You're going to scream at me for needing eye bleach, but I got to play it. If you know the rule, if I had to see it, so did you. Courtesy of Fat Kid Cool.
I got a strange disease. Dun, 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 dun. Whoa, sorry. Oh my god, what did you see? Did you see my boobs? Did you see my boobs? I got a...
That was for somebody in the audience. Somebody requested that. She knew what she was doing. Somebody wanted to see her belly. She couldn't wait to do a private video for that. Nope. Had to go live and show that to everyone. I know. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was a paid shot. So that's all I got for the Twitter peeps, y'all. But we're going to keep going. Sansa Cooks put out a video. How long ago was it? Let me just see. About 5 hours ago. About 12 minutes long. Entitled What Foodie Beauty Isn't Telling Us About Her Lab Results. So let's switch on over to the lovely, the talented, the amazing Sansa Cooks. Let's go.
Okay, well, that didn't take long. Foodie is back from her doctor's visit, and she is not a happy camper. In this video, let's listen to what she has to say, read between the lines, and discuss what she might not be telling us. For those of you who don't know, my background is that my dad was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes very late in life, at around 78, 79, and I helped my mom bring him back to pre-diabetic levels. On top of that, I've done a bunch of interviews, some with doctors, some with friends, and a lot of them have centered around diabetes. So I've got firsthand experience and questions that we've all had answered. Full disclaimer though, all of the commentary you hear in this video is just a version of my opinion on this subject.
And I hate to stop Sansa, but I saw this comment from Girl Scout. Had to dip out for a bit back. Rose, you inspired me to write a song. You're welcome to play it. Is it on your channel? Where can I find it? I don't know where it is. Are you on Twitter? Can you send it to me in a DM or something so I can find it? Is it about Foodie? Is it some nasty funk? What is that? On Twitter as a link. Can you send it to me in DM so I can find it really quick? And thank you.
Just trying to think of anything. Kidney function was okay. I have high testosterone. So he's like, you have PCOS. I'm thinking I don't even have ovaries, but I have high testosterone. So
You can tell that she's thinking really hard about what she wants to share here. As with any lab work, there will be good news and bad news. She starts out her video with the fairly neutral stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, my A1C is 10. It's like super high.
Okay, so let's stop for a second and talk about this. Foodie's A1C is a reading of the average blood sugar over the past 3 months. So with an A1C of 10, that means she's on the very, very high side of the chart.
Mm-hmm.
She might be even higher and off the chart. The first thing she isn't telling us is the actual number. Is it 10.5? Is it 10.9? Or is it 10 even? So on the other side of the desk, the doctor knows, based on this A1C and the fact that Foodie is taking daily insulin and metformin, that her blood sugar is out of control.
Yeah, like we just saw the Twitter peeps where she was showing the reading and it was up to 13. So it's way over 10. The reading that we saw on Twitter was up to 13, which is much higher than 10, and 10's already too high.
Doesn't have to tell him that she eats too many carbohydrates. It's right there in the lab results.
Yep.
And everything else that was okay. My thyroid, my liver, my kidney function was okay. It was good. Blood pressure was like 140.
Okay, I have a question since I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a nurse, I'm not a doctor. But for those who might have medical training or medical knowledge, if you were, say, a doctor, wouldn't you have to do individual tests on, say, the liver and the kidneys to know what's going on with them? Like maybe do scans or something, or I don't know, like just different tests to see if the liver is severely damaged or the kidneys are severely damaged, like say cirrhosis of the liver. I don't think you can get all that through a blood test. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, thank you, SM. Her liver is double the average size. There's no way it's normal. Right. Okay. Let's see if I'm looking something up. You know, okay, I'm not trying to be gross here. And I promise that I will take it off the screen after a second, okay? But there's something you guys should see. And I know that Foodie watches my videos on occasion. But just so we're clear. So this is what a normal, healthy liver is supposed to look like. Over here, we got the fatty liver. See how it changes? Notice that there are holes in the fatty liver, how like the liver is compromised. It's very damaged. Severe fatty liver. So your normal healthy liver looks like this. When it's a fatty liver, it looks like this. Severe fatty liver, it looks bad. So we went from a nice pink red liver, solid. Severe fatty liver looks nothing like that. And she's trying to claim that her liver is normal. So forgive the graphic pictures, y'all. Sorry. But yeah, that's what a fatty liver looks like. Okay, just so we're clear. All right, so going back.
40. I don't remember the bottom number.
Okay, so this is the second thing she's not telling us. If her blood pressure was 140 something over, say, 90 something, then she's technically in hypertension stage 2. If this doctor doesn't want to address more than one thing at a time, then chances are he told her that they would keep an eye on it, and maybe she should start a blood pressure log.
Cholesterol was okay.
You know what? I understand that doctors only want to address one issue at a time. If you have a patient with multiple issues going on, obviously you can't spend all day in the patient room with the patient and neglect the rest of your patients that need care. If this person's got heart issues, liver issues, kidney issues, blah, blah issues, you can't sit there for like 8 or 9 hours and do tests all day on one person. You got to keep it moving. Chantal may want someone to devote all their time to her, but even if the doctor did do that, even if he spent all day in the room with Foodie, would it really make a difference? Because she doesn't care about her health. How can you sit there and go to the doctor and get tests done, and then after you're done seeing the doctor, you run straight home and you start eating your snack foods? What's the point? What is the point of those doctor visits exactly if you don't care about your health? It's whatever the doctor tells you, you're just ignoring them.
There was nothing remarkable.
Negative, Ghost Rider. An A1C of 10 and over is remarkable. That in and of itself is worth additional discussion.
So as for medicine, yeah, I might have to start estrogen. He's getting back to me because he's like, yeah, nothing. I had no issues other than,
As a bit of background, the estrogen is something Foodie wants to look into because I believe it has to do with her hair growth, or lack thereof.
No, I mean, I'm not healthy as an ox, but
Obviously.
so he's gonna figure out, like, he wants me on. So I'm back on Ozempic.
I'm just going to give my opinion here. Again, I'm not her doctor. I'm not claiming to be her doctor. But Foodie's been going through the hair loss thing for a while. That could be hereditary. It could also be because of her hysterectomy and the lack of hormone treatment. But I feel it also could be linked to her diet. If she's been eating nothing but junk food for years, that can affect hair growth. That might cause her hair to fall out. And I wonder if she improved her diet, if her hair would start growing back. Maybe.
Because Mounjaro and Wegovy are not covered, and it's like $500 a month. So Ozempic is covered, but I'm still I had to fucking pay out of pocket for this shit today. Another $400 till my fucking receipts get submitted.
So here's another thing that she's not telling us. You don't just put somebody back on Ozempic without talking to them about what went wrong. 2 of my friends at work were put on GLP-1s, and they both experienced a lot of patient education. What you should eat, how much, and how you're going to feel. In my opinion, Foodie is leaving out all of this because she just doesn't want to be held accountable.
No, she doesn't.
Like once it can take like 10 business days.
And you know what? This is where I'm going to bitch at Foodie. She's over there like, I had to pay $400 out of pocket. Excuse the fuck out of me? You're doing what? You're paying out of pocket? No, ma'am. Your Beezers are paying. You're not going out there and making that money. People are giving you money. So what are you bitching about? It's not even your money that you're spending. It's theirs. Imagine some people giving you money, hundreds a day, and you're going to bitch. I got to pay $400 out of pocket. It's not even your money. They pay for it.
So once, and I just spent like hundreds on my insulin.
What? Medicine is expensive? No.
Once my insurance kicks in, I've already way overpaid my deductible. So they can take their sweet time all they want. I've submitted the receipts. It takes like 2 weeks almost. But they have to recognize that I paid the deductible.
I love how Foodie thinks that she's explaining something to people who have never heard of deductibles before. Oh, Foodie.
And then I got a Dexcom thing, not a Dexcom. Well, it's like another brand, but I got a continuous blood glucose monitor thing. Libre 2, I think it's called. Yeah, I told him I didn't do well with Ozempic, but I'm starting at 0.5 and I'm going to work my way up. I think it just wasn't a big enough dose, but I have to give it time.
That last little part about giving it time, that came from the doctor. Even if Foodie never explains to him why Ozempic didn't work for her, he can tell, just based on that A1C. I'm telling you right now, she just met her nemesis, and it's that Libre 2.
She hated the alarm going off. Yeah, it's like an app on your phone.
Let's pause again here and talk about the continuous blood glucose monitor. There are 2 different parts to it. The sensor that you put on your skin, it has a little needle that goes into your body and it measures your blood glucose, that way. So she won't have any excuses to know what her blood glucose is at any time during that 15 days. The second part is the app that you download and it lives on your phone. And it has alarms to tell you if your blood glucose goes too high, too low, or it also does all of the reporting from what it gets from the sensor. What Foodie's not saying about this is that her provider, the doctor, will be able to access these reports pretty much at any time.
Ooh, that's what she's pissed about. That's what she's so mad about, because she can't lie to this app. She can't lie her way around it. It's holding her accountable. Ooh, she's going to be mad. Like, she can't lie her way around that. And her doctor will be able to see what the fuck's going on. That's why she's crabby. She can't do that but thing with the doctor. The doctor's like, oh, no, ma'am. It reports directly to her doctor. That app is going to snitch on her. She got an electronic snitch that she can't bribe.
See all of the CGM's info, patterns on highs, patterns on lows, her trending A1C values, he'll see it all. She thought that my macro spreadsheets were bad. Wait until she sees her first report.
So my insulin, I have to basically wait for him to call me to pick up a receipt, a prescription, because he wants to figure out the proper dose and medicine. He's putting me on a short-acting insulin as well as the long-term. So he's trying to figure out what dosing to start me on, and he needed more time to look into it. So
now you've heard me say before that short-term insulin or fast-acting insulin is very dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody like Foodie could take a whole bunch of it to try to offset a big meal.
Yep.
Now, it seems like this doctor recognizes that, and he wants to see how she does before he gives it to her. This is a good sign. What she's not telling us here is what metrics he'll use to decide her dosage. Is it just CGM? Did he tell her to keep a food log? What is he going to use to make this decision?
I wonder if, because of the app, he might be able to tell, like, she's kind of abusing her insulin. Like, if they're going to track how much she's using, how fast she's using it, how fast she runs out of it, if he'll be like, put it all together and figure out something ain't right here. Like, as if I'm giving her X amount of insulin, and if she's running out too quickly, or she's using this and her blood sugar readings are all over the place, if he can figure out what's going on with her.
Plus, with the Ozempic, like, he doesn't want my blood sugar to crash with all 3 of those. But he's like, you know, until you get, like, you're eating under wraps.
No. What I think he probably said here was that once they get her eating under control, then they can talk more about next steps. This is another good sign that this doctor kind of understands her a little bit. I'm not surprised that Foodie doesn't want to talk about this because she doesn't want to be painted in a bad light. But we all know her history, and now I think the doctor's sort of figuring it out.
We're going to try the Ozempic, like, give it a good go, like, titrate it up, and then if that's not really effective, then he'll refer me for, like, weight loss surgery, but he didn't.
Sounds like this doctor can see right through her shit. Which it isn't hard to do. She's a bad liar. But it sounds like this doctor is like, I think I know what I'm dealing with. And it won't take him long to figure it all out. She can't bullshit her way around this guy. Or I don't know if it's a man or a woman. But she's pissed off because she can't lie her way out of certain things. And yeah, you're right. It is good. That's what you need. Something to hold her accountable.
Want to go with, like, right to the invasive route is what he said.
Okay, hold on. Thank you, Libra. The fact that she's going to be on a long and short acting insulin plus metformin and Ozempic tells me as an RN of 26 years, she's in really bad shape. Yep, she sure is. But like I said, I think that where most people who are diabetics, they use their medications correctly. Chantal's known for, she doesn't take her medications for her diabetes. She's taking them to manage her B moments so she can do her B moments and make her content and do the business cameos. It's not about making the situation better. It's about just continuing on and being able to do as many requests as possible. She's abusing her medications. She has no urge to get better. She just, whatever work requires.
Yeah, what she's not saying here is that the process for getting weight loss surgery is very long.
Yep.
I have a viewer who's been DMing me in Twitter about this.
Mm-hmm.
It's over a year.
Yep.
Maybe shorter if you can skip a few steps, but it's not easy.
No, I have to install it. I have to take the time to, but I have basically like 1 month worth right now.
Okay, good. So that means she has 2 sensors in case something goes wrong with the first one, but it's really easy to install. And what she's debating right now is when to put it on. Because think about it. The second that sensor goes into her skin, the doctor is going to be able to see everything that happens. Everything.
Yeah, it's like this thing here.
And here's my question. Like, I don't know exactly how those things work. I don't have diabetes. I have no experience with something like that. But when exactly would Chantal be able to use that and it wouldn't give a high reading? It wouldn't be first thing in the morning because Chantal, she likes to have her B moments late at night and stuff herself stupid. We all know that when she gets up in the morning, her blood sugar readings are still high, even after a long sleep. And that's because her belly is full of food. And when you go to sleep, your metabolism slows down and you're not digesting as fast. So even when she wakes up in the morning, her blood sugar reading is still going to be jacked up way high. It's going to be jacked up high when she eats, and she eats every 2 hours. So there's going to be no time in the day or night where she's going to be able to get a low reading. Yeah, she can't cheat it. Like as soon as she puts that needle in, that alarm's going to go off.
You just like on your arm. I didn't get like a readout of all the results, but he went over it and just told me what was like an issue.
While it may be true that the doctor didn't give her a printout of her lab results, she can go back to Dynacare, go online, and download Dynacare Plus. While I've never heard of a doctor not giving you your lab results, this is a pretty cheap option. Until her diabetes is under control, Foodie will probably have to have her A1C done every 3 months.
He didn't really say much about my weight. I mean, obviously it's really high, but
Personally, I think the doctor is trying to not scare her off at this point. He can tell that Foodie's a non-compliant patient, and he's kind of being very gentle with her. A big part of the reason why you only go over one major issue at each appointment is because you want to make sure the patient understands what you're saying and that they follow through with it. As you can see from just this short video, there's a lot that Foodie isn't telling us. It may be because she's overwhelmed, it may be because she doesn't want to share it with us. Whichever it is, I'm sure more will come out soon. Drop me a line in the comments and let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you.
I don't care. Talk about what you want. Yep. No, because it was just one thing at a time, right? So today was the friggin' diabetes shit.
What a wonderful video by the lovely and talented Sansa Cooks. Thank you, Sansa. And for those of you that you not subscribed to Sansa, I do recommend that you sub up to her and go to the video, give her a like, leave her a comment, tell her how much you appreciate her doing this video. It's very informative, as always. So we're just going to get out of here. And let me just go ahead and get out of that. Close that tab. All right. Oh, I'm just closing down the tab so I can keep track of everything. I'm in the right place. So where are we going next? Well, like I said, with the retro part of this comes from Pastor Tony. He used to be 671 pounds. And the video I'm going to be reacting to it's a combination of Pastor Tony and Kiana Doherty. This was done 3 years ago. But he's going to give his insight as somebody that used to be extremely morbidly obese. And I look forward to hearing his thoughts. So for those that haven't seen the video, maybe you want to check it out without the commentary. There we go. All right. All right, let's get started.
Then I'm going to kill two birds with one stone here and do this video. So I hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see what's going on with it, what Kiana has to say about Foodie Beauty. Hopefully it's something that tries to hold her accountable, I guess. If you're also somebody who does not like me going long, this is an 18-minute video, so I'm probably going to go long. The commentary is probably going to be pretty long, so just fair warning ahead of time. I don't want to see no comments talking about how I talk too damn much or anything else like that. But here we go. Let's react now.
Eating delicious food, to me, it feels like a job now. At first, it was a bit rocky because I was like, oh, wow, all this food. But now it's like, it's a job. And around that.
Hold on. Shut up, Foodie. Thank you, Sunshine, for the super sticker. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
I embrace eating healthy.
She really looks like she embraces eating healthy, and I'm not making fun of her, so don't come at me. But yeah, she does not look like she eats healthy. I mean, there are a lot of people who have who are professional eaters who do eat for a living, but they are skinny as a rail. And why is that? It's because they really do embrace eating healthy outside of their job. They exercise a lot to burn off all the excess calories that they eat. So her just sort of saying, oh, this is a job to me now. Yeah, you're doing it for clicks and likes and money. So it is a job, but it's also helping you justify your eating disorder. It's very clear that you are addicted to food by how you look and how big you are, and you are just going to justify eating badly by saying, oh, it's a job, it pays the bills.
True.
Oops, I don't know what I just hit.
I embrace eating healthy.
Hold on a second. Thank you, Sunshine, for gifting the membership. Thank you so much. Oh, where'd the audio go? Oh, he took it out, I think. And can I just say something while we're here? I don't like to see Foodie eating. But one thing I've noticed over time is that back in the day, Chantal looked like she enjoyed eating food. These days, not so much. When you eat junk food, you get that dopamine rush, but after a while, it goes away. I don't think that she's getting the dopamine rush when she eats anymore. She doesn't get pleasure out of eating food. Like if you watch her eat, she's just eating to eat because it pays the bills, not because she's really enjoying it. She used to enjoy doing it. Now she doesn't.
You know how we talked about before how some of these people are consider food like their sex? And I even said in one My 600-Pound Life video, I'm like, she's cheating on you with food, man. Just look at her eating and the sound she's making. This is her sex. She gets all kinds of pleasure out of this.
Foodie Beauty, aka Chantal Marie, is a YouTuber who really loves to eat.
I know what you're thinking. You prostituted yourself for pizza? It gets worse.
Unfortunately for Chantal, her terrible diet and weight have led to some very serious health concerns, leading her to believe correctly that she...
All right, let's look.
Yeah, and look at all the different titles. And this was Chantal back in the day. This is when some of these videos were done. Let's see, this one back in the BB days. Let's see, I have a blood clot in my lung, not doing so great, health updates, my 300-pound life, obesity-related health issues. And this was back when she was with BB. She was in the 300s. I went back to the ER. I mean, look at all these titles. This is back when she was with BB. Doing all these titles saying, I'm not doing so great. I'm sick. I'm having all these health issues.
Get some of these. Just a few health updates. Health not doing so great. I have a blood clot in my lung. Obesity-related health issues. I went back to the ER. My hysterectomy journey. So it looks like regardless of her health issues, she is still continuing to perpetuate her eating habits.
She must change her behavior in order to save her health and potentially her life.
Chantal has engaged in many attempts to lose weight over the years, but she hasn't had any success to date. I'd love to show you more than a few of those attempts here, but Chantal is very famous for her cycle of posting a video saying she's going to change her life.
I'm saying this to you guys for accountability. I want you to help me through this journey. I really want to see this through.
Then deleting it and posting back-to-back videos of her doing massive mukbangs for like a month in a row.
How are you? How are you? I need a chip right now.
So that really tells me right off the bat that she knows what she's doing is wrong. She knows it's killing her. She wants to change. She wants to stop eating that way, but she's drawn to the financial aspects of her eating. Just like,
not only that, but here's where I put my thoughts. I think, especially lately, when she's not getting enough money from her feeders, she will, in a sense, threaten a health journey. There's a lot of people that go to her YouTube channel, her Kick channel, that are feeders. They like the fact that she gets on regular social media and she does her content because A, they don't have to go to a feeder site and pay a membership to see the feeder content. B, that also means they're not going to get caught on a feeder site by, say, a wife or a girlfriend or a family member that can easily explain being on Kick or YouTube. They want her to do the fetish content on regular social media, and that protects them from being exposed. So when she's not getting enough money from the feeders, she'll threaten a health journey. Oh, I'm going to go on a health journey. I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to lose weight. And then her feeders freak all the way out and they start throwing money at her. So she'll keep doing the kink content that they like to watch and they like to get off to. Because I'm going on a health journey. And they're like, no, 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 no. You don't have to do that. We'll give you some more money. She knows how to manipulate the feeders to give her more money.
With Nikocado Avocado, some of you have told me that he's playing a part, he's playing a bit, that he's mocking Anne Boleyn and stuff like that. But he's gained over 250 pounds. If he's mocking Anne Boleyn by continuing to eat the way he does, I think that's just a justification for him indulging in eating whatever he wants.
Okay, and you know what? You're right. Sunshine. Nothing is wrong with fetish, but not on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. You want to do adult content? There are sites for that. If Chantal did her kink content off of regular social media, I'd have no problem with that. But her doing it on regular social media, that's where her and I are going to lock horns. That's not where it belongs. And that's where she's doing it.
And he's risking his life by making those videos. The same way here that Foodie Beauty has these heart-to-hearts where she's saying, hey, I need your help, I need your support, I need your encouragement. That's why I make these videos, and I'm really sticking to my diet. And when I posted my weigh-in video yesterday, many of you were very supportive of me, even though I lost only 14 pounds that month. Some of you were willing to kick me in the butt, which is exactly what I needed. If I'm willing to dish it on here, I'm willing to take it. Like, I need all that encouragement. It's all good to me. So yeah, it's great to post YouTube videos and say, I need your support, help me through this, let's overcome this food addiction. But for her to immediately delete that video and go back to mukbangs, you'll never see me do that.
Oh, the thing is, she's an extreme food addict. How is she going to get over her food addiction if she's making money off her food addiction? If you've monetized it, and you've been monetizing it for years, and that is how you make money, how are you ever going to get away from the addiction? When you're selling the addiction, that is a selling point for you. That is the appeal of the content that you do. You've gathered people around you that support that kind of content. They want to see it. They'll throw money at you for it. Indulge in your addiction. Do it in front of us and we'll give you money. We saw the 2 live streams back to back, one on Kick, one on YouTube just the other day where she wasn't eating. Did y'all notice that nobody was throwing her money just because she was talking? If she's eating, they'll throw money at her. But if she's not eating, they won't give her money like that. So she's monetized her addiction and she keeps monetizing it. And her health is getting worse. So she's in a corner of her own making. My health is getting bad. It's getting worse. But this is how I make money. So what do? If I try to take care of my health, I'm going to lose money. But if I continue with this thing, I'm going to end up in the hospital or casket. So she's got to make a decision at some point.
But at the same time, it's that draw. She says that she's justifying it by it pays the rent, it pays the bills. I get paid for doing this. This is a job to me now. It's also her sex and her comfort and her joy. So, that's probably why she's not going to be too successful. And if she's having all kinds of health issues from her obesity, then I don't think she's going to make it very much longer. And it's going to take something very serious happening to her. I mean, even if a blood clot in her lung did not scare her, I don't know what will.
Obvious reason for Chantel's cycle of failure is her extreme love of fast food. Although Chantel is not currently on a diet, she's in the mukbang phase of her cycle right now. Her history suggests that she'll probably be on another one soon. In this video, we'll be discussing why Chantel may as well not even bother trying again unless she's willing to address this one very important thing first.
Psychologists have found that when we attempt to make a big change in our lives or overcome an addiction, we go through what are called the states of change.
Chantel is constantly flip-flopping between the action and contemplation states of change, with most of her time being spent in the contemplation state of change, which is defined by being torn between wanting to make the change and wanting to keep things the same. Which, I mean, if that is not Chantel in a nutshell, I don't know what is.
Well, here's the thing. Chantal has said two things. She has said that change is scary, which I can understand, but she also has said, I hate change. She's a creature of routine and habit. She likes for things to stay the same. When you change something, that means something becomes different. She doesn't like different. She's locked into her routines of living and eating and being, and she doesn't want anything new. She wants to stay with the old and the familiar, even if the old and the familiar are toxic and they're hurting her. She wants to stick with it just because it's familiar and it's her normal. Her abnormal is her normal. So she doesn't want to make anything new. She doesn't want a new life. She just wants things to stay as they are.
I say this all the time. Why can't this food be good for you? Why? Maybe all we would do is eat in that case, huh?
Research on successful long-term changers, that's people who ended a drug addiction, quit smoking, or lost a massive amount of weight and kept it off, shows that the only way that people can overcome an addiction and change their behavior for good is if their personal pros and cons list begins to tip toward more meaningful pros than cons. This is something.
That's exactly what I tell people. People ask me all the time, Tony, what was that drawing line for you where you decided that you needed to do this journey? And it becomes that the cons list does get worse and worse. Your health gets worse and worse the older you get, the longer you're obese. So a lot of these 20-year-olds who are saying that you can be healthy at any size really have not lived long enough yet for the consequences of obesity to hit them. So, you can be overweight and younger, but as you get older, the cons list grows and grows and grows. And nobody else around you can convince you to try to lose weight. They can't do it. Like I've had so many people try over 20 years of my life since the time I was a teenager, trying to get me on the exercise bike, trying to get me on this diet or that diet, being very concerned with me, taking me to the doctor because they felt that there was just something wrong with me. And time again, there was nothing wrong with me. I had no high blood pressure. I had no problems or no issues or pain. But as I got older and pushing 40 years old, that's when the knee pain set in and the back pain set in and high blood pressure was increasing. And I realized that, okay, what the doctor said was true, that I wasn't going to make it to 40 at my current rate of weight gain. And so, you're going to have to get to that point where the cons are overwhelming your desire to eat, your food addiction. And so it was at that point where I realized that my food addiction was not worth dying for, that there were so many other things in my life that I wanted greater than food. And now that I'm on this side of it, I see that there are so many more things that give me pleasure, that give me joy, that aren't food.
Something called decisional.
And I want to add this to that. Nature hates a vacuum. There is emptiness and then there is fullness. Chantal's life is full of emptiness, and so she tries to counteract that with extreme fullness. Her life is empty, so she distracts herself and she deflects by filling up her belly full of food. And by filling up her belly full of food, the eating of the food, it calms her down to where she's not thinking about her life. She's not thinking about how lonely she is, how unhappy she is. So she's filling up that tremendous emptiness with toxic fullness. And I think one of the big things with Chantal if you've got something that like an addiction, that is how you spend your time, that is how you calm yourself down, that is the thing that consumes your day. I think the biggest monumental task for Chantal would be if you take this thing, food, that gives you pleasure, it calms you down, it is your medicine. If you take that out, you've got to fill it with something else. So her task would be like, oh, if all I do is think about food, eat food, and I have to release that, it can't be my obsession anymore, it can't be my addiction anymore. You're going to have to replace it with something that gives you as much pleasure as the food would. You've got to fill up your day with an activity or activities that give you as much pleasure and happiness as food. And she's going to have a hard time figuring out, what can I do that if I want to let go of food, what can I fill my day up with? So if you take the food out and there's the emptiness, what do you fill the emptiness with, if not the food? And she's not willing to answer that question.
Balance. In Chantel's case, she is the first person to tell you that she absolutely does not want to stop eating fast food, but that she has to because of her deteriorating health.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to give this up? Why can't this food be good for you? It's like a joke. No. It's like, here, I'm going to give you all this food your body craves. It's hyper palatable. It's so pleasurable. Releases endorphins in your brain. But you can't have any. No, you can have some, but it's not good for you. Shake my head.
She has two conflicting desires, the desire to get healthy and the desire to continue her daily fast food binges.
But in the end, it's pretty obvious to anyone watching Chantel's channel that her desire to continue eating fast food is a lot stronger than her desire to lose weight or get healthy. Her pros and cons list is definitely tipped more toward cons when it comes to changing her behavior. As we'll see in these next clips, Chantel is constantly flip-flopping between wanting to change her ways and just staying obese.
That's where the dangerous part is, right? When you are starting to get more cons than positives, but you still can't seem to overcome your food addiction.
I have these reasons I believe in now that I need to do this, and I know my life will be a lot better 365 days from now, 364 days from now. That's why I think weight loss journeys are bullshit. I'm not downing you if you have a weight loss journey and you're losing weight. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. But for me, no. I really don't know what I was thinking with all these mukbangs. I'm gonna do mukbangs, and if you don't like it, you don't have to watch, because I don't know if I can handle another binge and the guilt and the despair. So whenever I made that video, I'm never gonna binge again, at that time, in that mind frame, I was on a high. I'm eating myself to death. My new attitude is my weight, my health, what I eat is my business.
Yeah, she's constantly conflicted, going back and forth between what she knows is right, what she knows she needs to do, and actually not wanting to put the work in. And that's what it seems like it's coming down to for Foodie Beauty. She does not want to put the work in. So she gets to that point. She knows she.
You know what? You know what, Tony? It's not just that she doesn't want to put the work in. It's the fact that she's built everything around food. Everything around food. She built a persona around food. She built an entire YouTube channel around food and consuming food and showing food and talking about food. Like, everything is fucking food. Everything. Everything. Food isn't just what she consumes, it's her entire identity. And it's the identity that is making her money, that is getting her some kind of notoriety. She wanted to be somebody in this world. She wanted to be known. Well, she's known, all right, just not for the right reasons. She's not known in a positive light. She's known in a negative light. So what do you do when you make an entire persona based around food and consuming food and being known for food? You could make an entire new persona not focused around food, but that takes time to go from one extreme to the other. And she's not willing to do that. She wants to stick with what makes her money because there are entirely too many people giving her money because they want to watch her destroy herself. They are all about that self-harm content. And from what I've seen lately, they are throwing more money at her to make a situation happen a lot faster.
She has to do it. And it's overwhelming to her because she feels guilty when she binges. She has this overwhelming despair over it. She wants to lose her weight. Her health is deteriorating. But at the same time, it's like she just doesn't want to put the work in. When she comes up against that wall, that very first day where she tries to diet, it's like she can't break through. And so it's like, I got to go back to binging because this is going to be too much work for me.
The reason for all this flip-flopping, Chantel does not want to change her behavior. Chantel wants the outcome of weight loss, but she's not at all interested in the process.
That's exactly true. It's all about thinking, okay, I have hundreds of pounds to lose. That's too much work. I might as well just keep doing what I'm doing.
That is responsible for getting her there. Mainly quitting eating fast food every day, beginning to eat healthy food, and generally living a healthier lifestyle.
I hate cardio.
In fact, Chantel believes that no one could possibly want to stop eating fast food, but rather they're forced to based on their circumstances.
You have to be ready to quit.
That's kind of what I've been saying, right? You have to be ready to quit. At some point, your cons are going to force you to quit.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like deciding now that I need to quit, right? Because,
like when it comes to addiction, no one can force you to quit. No one can force you to change. You could have a million people all surrounding you, giving you a myriad of good reason why you should change your life. But until you decide, ain't nothing going to happen. Some people just reach that point of like being sick and tired of being sick and tired. With Chantal, it's going to be a little bit different. She's hard-headed. She's as stubborn as a pack of mules. She's not going to quit until she's forced to quit. And in her case, it may be a medical emergency, or she might get so sick she ends up in hospice and she cannot eat anymore. Something is literally going to have to force her to stop. Until that point, she's not going to stop. If she lost a finger, if she lost a toe, if she lost a leg, that still would not be enough. She's going to have to be put in a position where she cannot eat anymore or eat the way she wants to eat. It's going to take something really extreme to stop all this.
As if things get worse, there might not be no coming back from that. So yeah, your cons are going to force you to quit or you're going to die. I mean, that's just it.
You're never ready. Never. You don't quit because you want to. That's bullshit. You do it because you have to.
Now, if anyone here has ever successfully stopped smoking or quit an addiction, you know that what she just said is not true. Wanting to change the specific...
I mean, it's true to a point, I think, in my own experience, that, yeah, you're going to want to change. Like, I've always wanted to diet. I've always wanted to lose weight. Like, I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have a normal life. But my food addiction overcame all those feelings.
Mm-hmm.
And so now when I talk about, when people ask me, Tony, why are you doing this? Why do you want to change? And why are you so successful at it now? Well, I wanted to do it. So yeah, part of it is want. That desire to have these things is now greater than what my food addiction was. But at the same time, I was forced to do it out of fear, out of the risk of dying. Like, I was even told that when I was fearing the weight loss surgery itself, that because it could be risky, that the risk of dying of obesity-related diseases was higher than the surgery. And so you just kind of get to that point where you consider the risks and the benefits of certain things. And if you don't get the help, you're going to die. So I was at that point where I felt like I had no other choice. I was being forced into it. But I realized also that I need to overcome my food addiction. So I didn't want to change because the food gave me pleasure. But at the same time, I had to change. So I can kind of see both sides of this.
And I want to address this comment in the chat. Thank you, Liv. She believes she is powerless with the addiction. Well, you make a prophecy, you believe the prophecy be true, you will fulfill your own prophecies. If she's put it in her mind that she's powerless against her addiction, then she will be. If you say to yourself, I can't do it, I can't beat it, it's more powerful than I am, there's no way that I can beat this. You're putting that in your head, that those are your thoughts. If you say to yourself, it's too much, I can't overcome it, then you will fulfill your own prophecy. But if you put it in your head, I can do it. It may take a while, but I can do it. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to fight this. Then eventually you will find a way. You will have many moments where, you go back to the food and it's okay. A lot of people, they try something and they fail, but the point is it's not about preventing falling off the horse. The point is, once you fall off the horse, you get right back up and you get back on as quickly as you can and keep riding. You just got to keep trying until you succeed.
Behavior that is causing the problem is, from what I've seen, a necessary condition of change. Maybe there are some outliers, but from what I have seen in the research, you need to want to change that behavior to be able to change it. But for Chantel,
Yeah, other people can't force you to diet and exercise and lose weight. You have to want to do that. And that's why so many diets fail, is because people have been telling you your entire life, you need to change, you need to exercise, you need to diet. And that sort of makes you feel depressed. That makes you feel judged. And when you feel judged, you just sort of don't want to change for that reason. Instead, you become a contrarian, where you just do contrary of what other people try to tell you. Because you're like, screw them, I'm going to do whatever I want. And you've seen Foodie Beauty have that same attitude. Like, I don't care what other people think. This is my diet. This is my business. You can.
There's like a two-part problem going on here. You've got Chantal Foodie, who doesn't want to change. That's one layer. And then you've got the other layer. You've got the people around Chantal that don't want her to change. So you've got she herself, she doesn't want to change. And then she's surrounded by the feeders. They don't want her to change either. So you've got this negative behavior, and you've got people around said person who are backing up said negative behavior. They're very happy to keep her in that bubble, that space of like, no, you don't have to change. You're fine. You're okay. Just listen to us. Just keep taking our money and keep eating the food, because that's exactly where we want you to be.
Mind your own business type attitude. And so that's where we get when we feel people are judging us and trying to tell us to lose weight. So you might be guilted into trying to lose weight, but just like Tammy, so many times her family tried to help her, tried to get her to lose weight, and she refused to do it. And she got angry at them and pushed back against them so many times that every single member of her family gave up. But it took her going into a coma to decide that she needed to change. And as we've seen, if you've watched season 4, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but it looks like she is really wanting to get out of the rehab center early again. So yeah, it's one of those situations.
Chantel, she feels that she's being forced by her medical circumstances to give up something that she loves. She feels that her health, her audience, her doctors are dictating to her that she must stop eating fast food. This causes rebellion, something we see in Chantel quite often.
Yeah, that rebellion, when you feel people are judging you, pushing back against you, trying to tell you you can't do something, you're going to want to do that even more. And so there's got to be a healthier way that we can talk with people about obesity and their health issues. But at some point, it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy, because all those things are going to come rearing its ugly head. All your health conditions are going to eventually force you to do it. And you have no excuses at that point. You have to stop rebelling against those who really do love you and want your best interests.
And an emotional taboo around fast food that makes it ultra seductive, something called psychological reactance.
I'm not going to be intimidated to change who I am or how I act. Like, if you don't like it, don't watch me.
Chantel feels that what she really wants is to keep eating as she has been. But what she needs to do, what she has to do, is to diet. Changing her diet is a should for Chantel, not an I want to. And for her to lose weight successfully, this is what has to change.
You know, and I'm just going to add some more thoughts here. Since Chantal is a food addict, and I've said this, diets don't work. Diets are things that you do for short-term weight loss. What she needs is an entire lifestyle change. She's got to get that food addiction under control. You can't do that through a diet. You know, like if you're someone and like say you want to fit into a certain dress by summertime, you might do a diet. What she needs is something more impactful than a diet. Her whole life needs an overhaul. Not just the food, but just the way she thinks, the way she moves, the people she surrounds herself with, the way that she makes money, filling up her day with healthy activities. Complete lifestyle change. It's not as simple as, oh, just go on a diet. No, not with a food addict. You got to change everything. And I mean everything. You can't be on a diet forever. You got to face the addiction and see it for what it is. And you got to deal with that.
This is actually what people are referring to when they say someone is not ready to change. It's a matter of actually wanting to change the specific behavior that has caused the problem. It's not enough to want the outcome of weight loss. You have to want to change what got you there. For example, if you were smoking cigarettes, say, to change that behavior, you'd have to want to quit smoking more than you wanted to continue smoking. It doesn't mean that the desire to smoke cigarettes is not there at all. It simply means that your desire to change is more than your desire to stay the same.
Yeah, my mom is a smoker, and she's been smoking since she was 16 years old. And we've tried many times to try to get her to quit. And she absolutely refuses to do so. At one point, she tried, it seemed like, but I caught her out back smoking before, and it turned into a big fight, you know. But we care for her health. We see her health deteriorating. We know cigarettes causes all kinds of problems and diseases and cancer and all that stuff, because there's thousands of harmful chemicals in cigarettes. And at this point, I've given up trying, because it's like she does not want to quit. Like, she's so far gone in terms of her addiction that there's absolutely no changing it. There's nothing I can do anymore. You know, we've tried and tried as a family. And it was the same way with me and obesity. They tried and tried. Nothing worked. I burned my bridges. They stopped trying. They stopped trying to help me out because I was just so far gone. And so if my mom was to quit smoking, it would have to be something that she wanted to do. And it would probably be because she got cancer, which is sad. And it breaks my heart that it's going to have to come to that for her to decide to quit smoking. But she may never quit. You know, even then, my grandma had lung cancer, and she eventually died from cancer. But a cancer diagnosis did not stop her from smoking. And it was really sad. At the same time, when it comes to the obesity issue with Foodie Beauty, she's going to have to decide that she wants to quit. There's no forcing her to quit. And, you know, something bad happening to her is going to have to be that force that comes against her food addiction. And she's going to have to decide, does she want to live more, or does she want to diet?
So until Chantel actually wants to change.
So the thing is, long ago, Foodie, she basically told us her point of view. She said outright, this was during Crack at Olympics, she says, I'll never stop eating. I'm going to eat until I pass away. She's never going to give up the fast food. She said that during Crack at Olympics. Actually, she said it a few times since then. She's never going to give up that fast food, ever.
She will not succeed.
How am I supposed to give this up?
Desire is an extremely powerful emotion. It might not be the first emotion you think of when you think of emotions, but it is. It's that Emotional quality of wanting something really, really badly. Dr. Jonathan Haidt is a social psychologist from NYU who talks about the idea of the elephant and the rider as the two parts of the brain. The elephant is the emotional part of our brain, whereas the rider is the logical part. The elephant part of our brain is ancient. It actually hasn't changed that much since the early days of our development. It's actually remarkably similar hardware to this day to what a lamprey has. This is the fight or flight area. It's instinctual. It's what keeps us alive. And as a result, it's extremely powerful.
I'm going to check, make sure I'm still on the screen here. Sorry about that. My back's still hurting, so I have to keep shifting and I keep getting out of the camera. All right, let's get back into it.
You know, and something about Chantal, she is emotional. Like I think she's more elephant than rider. She just goes with her emotions and goes with her feelings, and sense has no chance. It can't even enter the room. It doesn't even come into play.
Especially when it comes to governing our behavior. The logical part, the rider, is a lot younger. It deals with more sophisticated processes, and it's not quite as powerful. As long as the elephant and the rider are in agreement, the rider remains in control. But if you've ever seen a man on an elephant, you know that that control is an illusion.
We've seen this so much, especially with the fat positivity movement. And we've done many, many videos on like Virgie Tovar and these people who are just so emotionally connected to their diet, to their fatness, that their emotional desires and stuff overweighs their logic. And so they're completely denying proven factual science about obesity because their emotions tell them to. And a lot of them, food is their lover, food is their sex, food is their desire. And so that's why they are so emotionally connected. Like that one lady I did a review of who was crying her heart out. Her eyes she just could not contain herself over people posting before and after videos and pictures. She was so distraught over that. She was triggered by people posting before and after videos. If you haven't watched that, it's in my video list, maybe 2 videos down or so. So that's absolutely crazy to be that emotionally distraught over people who are actually succeeding in their diet. And it's one of those things where she probably desires that after picture. She wants to lose weight. She's miserable being her size, but she's unwilling to put the work in. And so she's distraught over it. I wasn't making fun of her. I wasn't trying to laugh at her crying. I was just laughing at the ridiculous things that she was saying. She was trying to justify her size. And she wanted to lose weight. She wanted the after picture, but it was too much work for her at that age. And she's going to have to get to a point where it's worth it to her to exercise it and lose weight.
Everything's all good.
You know, I think with Chantal, I think when she has those thoughts of, I want to lose weight, I want to be at a smaller size, I want to be healthier, where she gets stuck is like she goes into the thinking part of it. She's like, I want to lose weight, and she imagines herself being smaller and all the benefits of being smaller and being healthier. But then she starts thinking about the process of what it would take to get from point A to point B. Like, what would she have to do? She would have to, you know, fix her food addiction, which might take a while. And then she would have to eat healthier foods and get off of the fast food or decrease it. Then she would start to lose weight a little bit. And how long would that take to go from, say, 500 pounds to, say, 200 pounds? Would it take a few years? Probably. If she lost 100 pounds a year, it would take her at least 3 years to get down to, say, 200 pounds again. But then after that, what's after that? She would have to have skin removal surgery, which would be very expensive. Multiple surgeries to get rid of multiple skin. And she starts thinking about all these different details, and it discourages her from getting healthy because you're like, oh, it's too much trouble. And it would take too much time. So I'm just going to say, fuck it and do what I want to do, because it would just, it's a lot of steps. It's very complex. And what I want it now. She's impulsive. What I want it now. And if I can't have it now, then screw it. I'm just going to stay on the path that I'm on. She's not willing to put the work in.
Until the elephant decides to freak the fuck out. We can have a million logical reasons to change, but our behavior is driven by our emotion, not logic. So none of those reasons matter an ounce unless the emotional part is on the same side. So because Chantel feels that what she desires more than anything is to eat fast food every day.
Let's give you a beauty bite. Oh my God.
And what is that logical side? That logical side tells you, I can't keep doing this. I'm going to die unless I change. So again, that con list has to grow so strongly that it overcomes that emotional connection with food. And you're going to have to realize that your relationship with food is toxic. How many couples have you seen in your life who are toxic, who just ended up getting back together? And the abuse continued, they broke up and they got back together. Time and time again, they keep getting back together. Like that desire, maybe people like bad boys, bad girls, whatever. And so that desire to keep getting back together is the emotional side, and it overwhelms the logical side that says, why are you getting back involved with this loser, this toxic person? And so that toxicity is there, but you have to realize it's there. And the abuse has to escalate to a point where you realize that, hey, this is an abusive relationship. This person is only hurting me, destroying my self-peace, destroying me physically, emotionally, mentally. I have to get away from this person. So it's the same way with food. If you have a toxic relationship with food, you're going to have to realize that, hey, this thing is only killing me. It gives me so much joy and pleasure, but it's killing me.
And you know what? I'm just sitting here like listening to Tony, and I just was just thinking about Chantal. Every single relationship that she has ever had, and she continues to have, they're all toxic. Like the relationship she had with Nader, toxic. The relationship she had with Salah, toxic. The relationship she has with her Beezers, toxic. Because they fund her and enable her. Every single one. There's never been a healthy relationship around her. They're all toxic. The relationship she has with food, toxic. It's like toxic relationships are her normal. She seems to attract and cultivate toxic relationships with everybody, even her family. They enable her bullshit versus call her out on it. They keep it going too.
Beauty bite. I know this sounds bad, but that bite was like worth being fat for.
This is what she wants with the emotional part of her brain. The process of losing weight is going to be A, awful, and B, dependent on her level of willpower on any given day. Science has shown that willpower is finite. It doesn't last very long. And that means that any weight loss attempt of Chantel's is destined to fail.
It feels like a job now.
As long as Chantel continues to view healthy eating as a tedious prison sentence, she's never going to be able to consistently engage in it. Living a healthy lifestyle is something that needs to be kept up for life if we're going to actually lose weight and be healthy.
And that's what I've been living, right? People seeing my weigh in and I've only lost 14 pounds and telling me, hey, what are you doing, man? Why are you eating chips and dip? And like watching that video over again that I posted yesterday, like I heard myself, like all these excuses for why my weight loss wasn't better. And there was a lot of love and support from people saying 14 pounds, that was a huge thing. Congratulations, you were doing awesome. Don't beat yourself up for that. But at my size, I should be losing double that per month. I should be losing at least 30 pounds a month. And so the fact that I haven't yet was, some of that same emotional eating started creeping back into my life. So I was using excuses like, there's a big Michigan game on Saturday. there's the national championship game, there's the Big Ten championship game, and all these excuses to watch football and to watch movies and just eat like garbage. Like, I didn't need to indulge in all that. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to get healthy. And that's what Sean and Steele told me. If you read his comment in my video yesterday, like, it's now or never, buddy. You got to get going. You got to keep fighting back. You're either going to do it now or you're going to die. Because even though I'm losing weight, I'm still over 500 pounds. Like, I'm not out of the woods yet. So even when you're doing well and you have a YouTube channel that's growing and people are finding you to be inspirational and they love your journey, I'm still struggling, guys. Like, I'm not where I need to be yet. I'm still working on overcoming my food addictions. And I've said in other videos, hey, my food addiction's gone. Well, apparently it's not gone, because I still have that emotional connection to food where, you know, I talked about in another video, my reasons for celebrating the holidays was all connected around food. There was nothing more exciting to me than being able to eat on the holidays. After the tedious weight loss journey and being on a liquid diet for so long and missing out on Thanksgiving, I was overexcited about Christmas because I got to indulge in all of my favorite Christmas treats. And that was my favorite part of the holiday over anything else. And so, you know, you're always going to be battling that food addiction. I don't think it ever goes away, that emotional connection to food. So I guess what I am learning is to, you know, celebrate in different ways, to live my life differently where I find pleasure in other things other than food. And it's working, but you're still going to have some connection to that. Like, if you have an addiction to cigarettes, you're always going to crave a cigarette. That's always going to be something that you crave. In the same way, food is probably always going to be something that you crave. If you were addicted to pain pills, you're going to crave pain medication, probably for the rest of your life. If you're a sex addict, you're probably going to crave sex your whole life. Like, those things just do not go away.
No one can consistently engage in something that they hate.
It's ridiculous for people to be like, you're gonna die. Oh well, we're all gonna die. And honestly, I don't want to live to be 70, 80 eating kale.
That means in order to succeed, Chantel actually has to change her attitude and her beliefs about fast food. There has to be a fundamental shift there. She has to literally want to stop eating fast food and start eating healthy food.
Well, that's never going to happen. She's never going to want to eat healthy food ever, because she's got negative thoughts about healthy food. Like, she thinks that healthy food is just kale and tofu, when there's lots of ways to eat healthy food, tasty healthy food. She just doesn't want to explore, and she doesn't want to try. She's treating fast food like a pair of comfortable shoes. And every day she gets up and she wants to put on the same pair of comfortable shoes. She doesn't want to buy a new pair. She wants to stick with the old and the familiar. And as far as addiction, Tony's right. The thing is, when you're an addict, you're always an addict. It's just that you're either in recovery or you're not. But you're forever the addict of whatever it is you're addicted to. So you're either an addict in recovery or you're an addict not in recovery, but it's still part of you. You know, but being in recovery is pretty awesome.
Why can't this food be good for you?
So how can someone do this? How can someone with an admitted food addiction, who clearly gets a lot of pleasure out of their meals, want to stop eating fast food? Obviously, it's not going to be easy, and it's a complicated process. Some people have like a rock bottom moment or an epiphany where they feel so much pain and unhappiness that they never quite view food the same way again.
That's what I've been saying, right? That your con list is going to be so long that it's going to have to overwhelm that emotional connection to food. It's that toxic relationship. You have to realize that it gives me pleasure, but it's hurting me, and I don't want to deal with that any longer.
She's never going to have that moment, though. The only way that Chantal is going to stay away from fast food is if she's somewhere and she can't get to it. She can't drive there. She can't have it delivered. She can't have someone bring it to her. She's going to have to be put somewhere where it's absolutely off limits. Or is she so sick that she can't go out and get it herself? If there's a way for her to get to it, she's going to get to it. She even sitting at home, and even if she can't go outside the home, she's got a phone and she's got apps on her phone and she can have it brought to her. So you want Chantal away from the fast food? She's going to be put somewhere where there's no fast food in sight.
Loses its sparkle, so to speak. But no one can engineer a rock bottom moment, unfortunately. And honestly, Chantal seems to have them all the time.
They say that most people have to hit a rock bottom to change. And the amount of health issues I've amassed for myself because of my obesity is definitely scary and eye-opening for me.
Yeah, you're gonna have to hit those moments. As I was watching season 4 of 1,000 Pound Sisters, they were talking about how Tammy had 4 rock bottom moments, and she's been in the hospital and almost died 4 different times because of her size. And every single time, like, her family was like, "We don't believe you this time. You've hit rock bottom 4 times, and you've desired to change and said you were going to change and lose weight." It's like, after once should have been enough for you to realize what you were doing to yourself.
And Chantal's had at least 3 or 4, maybe more. Let's see. When she was with BB, she had to go to the hospital and have surgery because she ate so much cheese that it plugged up her gut. That should have been a wake-up moment, and it wasn't. Another one could have been when she found out that she had an enlarged heart. Another one could be just when she went to Syria. And I feel that she had fluid removed from her abdomen, from her tummy. Ascites? How do you say that? When her belly was so full of fluid, they had to drain it all out because her belly changed shape. Yeah, she had to have surgery because she ate too much cheese. She was in the ER from eating too much cheese. So that should have been a wake-up moment. It wasn't. And all the weight she's gained and the lack of mobility and all of that. There have been many wake-up moments that she just never woke up. She decided to stay asleep.
After twice, you should have realized, oh, time is shorter than I thought it was. I really need to do this. But 3 and 4 times, almost dying, and now she has a trach in her throat. It's just absolutely sad that after 4 rock bottoms, and they were starting to hint and insinuate in the trailers, this isn't a spoiler or anything else like that, it's in the trailers, but it's starting to hint that she wants to get out of rehab and go back home, even though she's still massive. So how many rock bottom moments do you get? You might not get 4 rock bottom moments. Your time of death might be that first rock bottom moment. Like, your heart could explode tomorrow. Or you could have a heart attack and survive through that. And then if you decide to not change, your death can come at the second rock bottom moment. Or you might have a third and a fourth. Our body is crazy, the amount of stress that it can handle. But at some point, it's going to go out. Like, it cannot continue. That's why the rock bottom moments happen. And so it seems like she is really realizing her rock bottom moment is coming. It hasn't hit her yet. She's starting to have health issues, but she knows it's coming. And she's going to have to decide if she wants to live. She's talking about living 70 to 80 years old, eating kale. You're not going to make it to 40. I don't know how old she is. She might be 40. I don't know. But to me, she looks like she's in her maybe upper 20s to lower 30s. But stop trying to talk about making it to 70 or 80. Are you going to make it to 40 and 50? That's the question.
And I really want that to be my rock bottom.
She gets a
And she is, what, 42 now? And it's getting progressively worse very, very fast.
medical scare, a very serious medical scare from what I can see. She gets very emotionally invested in the idea of changing and the dream of changing. And then a few days go by and she's not really as emotionally connected for her reasons for wanting to change.
MSG.
And she falls back into her old habits. What's happening here is she's really losing sight of her reasons for wanting to change. The emotional quality kind of fades away after some time. When you get a medical scare or some sort of wake-up call, your reasons for changing are crystal clear. You can really picture them, you can feel them, and they'll help you to drive your behavior in one direction. But as time goes by, food remains very salient, but your reasons for change don't. Food is everywhere you go. You can see it, you can smell it, you can very clearly visualize yourself eating it. But unless you've done the work to make sure that your reasons for change can stay top of mind, they won't really be there.
Yeah, I've always talked about how food is the worst addiction to have, because you can overcome a cocaine addiction and just not go buy more cocaine. It's not like it's readily available on every corner of our country. I mean, you might know where you find it, but if I wanted to snort some cocaine right now, I wouldn't even know where to begin to find it. Like it's not readily available out there. Unless, again, you have your friend, your connection, and hopefully if you have a cocaine addiction you're trying to stop, you cut that friend off and you get that toxicity out of your life.
Yeah, and food addiction is one of those unique addictions that, unlike Coca-Cola or alcohol, you need food to eat. That was the part that I struggle with. How do you stop an addiction to something you have to keep consuming? That's tough because food is everywhere. It's in the gas stations, it's in the convenience stores, it's in the grocery stores, it's everywhere you look. Everywhere you go, there's temptation. Temptation in the restaurants, temptations in the corner stores, in the diners, in the bistros, in the deli counter of your local grocery store. It's in the bakery section. You walk into a grocery store, you can smell the food. How do you get that under control? And I had to learn the lesson. You have to treat food for what it is. You can't look at it for more than what it is. You have to take all emotional anchors off of food. It can't have more than the hat it's supposed to have. It cannot be a friend. It cannot be a lover. It cannot be a callback to happier times. It's just something that you consume to give you energy to go out into the world and do fun things or do necessary things. But it's not supposed to be a replacement for important things. It's just fuel to go out and do things in life that will give you more enjoyment and more joy than you could imagine. But when you're a food addict, your drug dealer is everywhere. It's every place. And so it's like the temptation is always going to be in your face.
But food is completely different because it's on every corner. They pump the smell of it into the air. It's on the ads. It's on the billboards. We were driving to the store yesterday. I was going with my mom, and she pointed out, why'd you have to put that steak bagel ad right there, right next to the road on our way to the store? It's like I was telling you my story about how I wished I had a steak bagel before my surgery, my last steak bagel. And then there it is on the ad. Every time we drive by the store, steak bagels are back. It's like the temptation is right there. I have not gone and gotten a steak bagel since surgery. I refuse to. That's one bridge I will not cross. But I'm not going to lie and tell you that temptation wasn't there. I could get it without the bagel, just the steak and egg and sauce part. But I'm not going to because that's just crap that I don't need in my system. So, it's just one of those things where you're going to have to decide what is more important to you.
In order to change for good, Chantel's perception of fast food needs to change indefinitely. It needs to become clear to her that fast food isn't her forbidden friend, it's her enemy. It seems to be the single greatest cause of the problems in her life, but she has to see that for herself and it has to stay that way. So how to stop obsessing over fast food? First, Chantel needs to connect more with her deepest held values. She needs to ask herself some tough questions about what her food addiction has cost her thus far and what it will cost her in the future if she does not change. She needs to discover how eating like this every single day conflicts with her ideal vision of herself and the hopes and dreams that she has for her future. She needs to spend some time thinking about her life story. Who is she? Where does her obsession with food come from? And where is she going if she doesn't change her ways? Essentially, Chantel needs to find a new vision of her life that she desires more than she desires keeping things the same, while also finding reasons that fast food isn't quite as attractive as she builds it up in her head to be. She needs to literally get to the point where her dominant view of food is that it takes away from her life.
Yeah, it's very easy to romanticize the toxic things in our lives, toxic relationships. But he's so cute, though. Really? He's an abuser. He's a manipulator. He's a narcissist. But he's cute, and you desire that sort of thing, so you put up with the abuse.
Have you ever met someone in your life that they weren't all the way good for you? What do people say when they're around someone who's hurtful or has hurt them? What is the number one thing they say? Say it with me. But I love him. Or but I love her. That is a justification. Oh, this person, they lie to you. They cheat on you. They're just a complete asshole. Oh, I know, but I love him. But I love her. That's the justification. But I love him, but I love her. And that's Chantal's justification for the food. It's bad for you. It's making you gain weight. It's making you sick, but I love it. I love the fast food. And because there's that emotion, love, attached, love is a very powerful emotion, is it not? It's very powerful, but that powerful emotion can turn toxic if you love the wrong people and if you love the wrong things. And clearly she is loving the wrong things for the wrong reasons. But she will use that as a reason to hang on. But I love it. I love fast food. I'm in a relationship with food, literally. I'm married to it, and I don't want to get divorced from it, because if I get divorced from it, what will be there to replace it? She doesn't know, and she doesn't want to know.
Like, you're going to have to realize that those feelings take over your logical side, and it's all emotion. It's all emotionally driven.
More than it adds to it. I know for me, once I stopped and I figured out what was really important to me, it was just like this huge realization that I had been putting my entire life on hold, that I had been sacrificing my whole life for food. And once I started thinking of it in terms of that, it just wasn't as enticing anymore. Now, I'm not saying from that moment on, I was like, poof, like I never want to eat bad again. It wasn't like that. I still wanted to a degree, but I wanted to change more than I wanted to keep eating like that. And it gave me the strength I needed and like the real start to start gaining control of.
Yeah, that's how it was for me. Like, I had to make that realization. I had to realize I had to take control of my life. I burned all my bridges. I was at rock bottom. There was nothing else that could change this except for myself, no matter how hard it was going to be.
Over my behavior. But it wasn't.
I'll tell you one thing that would break Chantal away from the fast food. For anybody who does, you exercise and you work out, if you pick up, say, a candy bar, and there's like 380 calories on that candy bar. So you're eating 380 calories of, say, a Snickers bar or something. And then you have to jump on an exercise bike and burn off 380 calories. And you start to realize how much work you have to do to burn off that amount of calories. You do it once or twice. Then if you go to the store and you pick up something that's, say, 1,000 calories or 380 calories, like you pick up that, I mean, you're like, ooh, I don't want to eat that. I remember the work that I had to do to burn off that amount of calories. That sucks. If I eat 380 calories in this candy bar, I'm going to have to be on the exercise bike for like half an hour, and I just don't want to go through all that. You start to realize how much harder your body has to work to burn off them damn calories.
Until I had this fundamental shift in realizing, no, this is not what I want, that I was actually able to start changing. Okay, second part, Chantel is focused solely on the momentary pleasure that she feels when she puts food in her mouth, while ignoring all the negative feelings that occur shortly thereafter. She's impulsive and she's biased towards short-term gains over long-term health.
And that's where the food addiction really plays a part, because it is that momentary pleasure. You feel all sorts of guilt afterward. You feel toxic. You feel like you got sludge in your system, and you get bloated and you feel like crap for hours and hours and hours. And so you realize the way you're eating is hurting your body and you can't do it anymore. But you're so emotionally connected to food, it's an addiction for you. It is that sex, it is that pleasure. So it's like having a one night stand and instantly regretting it. Like in that moment, you had the pleasure. In that moment, your desires were met, that itch was scratched or whatever, but immediately you regret it. Immediately, you know, it could lead to pregnancy, it could lead to disease, all those things. It wasn't worth it in the end. So you have to get to a point emotionally where you realize that one night stands are not worth it. You need to have a healthier sexual desire towards something more permanent, instead of just constantly having one night stands, knowing that all the risks are out there. And I'm not trying to tell you what to do with your own body. I have my own views on that, but food is the same way. You have to realize that it's not worth the momentary pleasure that's eventually going to lead to disease and illness and will kill you if you don't get it under control.
We all are to a degree, but Chantel particularly so. To help combat this short-term bias, Chantel needs to connect with the other immediate feelings that accompany eating fast food.
Mm-hmm.
The physical feeling of indigestion, the loss of energy, the sluggishness, and possibly worst of all, that horrible sinking feeling we all experience as a result of letting ourselves down once again. These are all the immediate feelings that accompany eating fast food. They don't happen in an abstract future that may or may not happen, like a medical concern. They happen right now. And every time Chantel gets a craving, this is where she needs to refocus her attention. And for the third point, if Chantel does decide that she wants to lose weight, if she does decide that she wants to give up fast food, she needs to begin the process of detaching her identity as herself as a foodie and a food addict. Mm-hmm. She's built her life and her image around eating, and that makes it a polarizing force, bringing her back to it. Anyway, I'm not saying it's going to be easy or there's going to be this one moment where she just never wants fast food again once she decides what she really does want. It's not like that. It's really just doing the work, figuring out what you want, taking responsibility for your thoughts, and deciding whether or not the eating fast food in copious amounts every single day is really a behavior that you want to keep around in your life.
I'm going to end the video right here. There's still a couple minutes left. But yeah, what she's saying is very important. You're going to have to detach yourself from that. I've always had the identity of the big guy, and I'm just funny all the time because internally I was suffering. And so I've learned to be funny to help me overcome my fear of other people, fear of being around people. And the way I would often introduce myself was telling a joke.
What this person, do these people still react? I don't know. I am not subbed up to Tony nor to Kiara, but I just found this video, and Tony used to be 671 pounds. So I thought he might have some interesting insight about being super morbidly obese and the food addiction. And indeed, he did have some great things to say. So I thought I'd react to that tonight.
A self-depreciating joke, making fun of myself and my size to help disarm people so they're not making fun of me, so that maybe they can think better of me. And that's how I've always introduced myself in the past, because I was afraid of what people thought of me. So you're gonna have to get to a point where you realize that your self-identity as a fat person needs to change, and you need to heal from that. And for Foodie Beauty, making all this money and stuff like that, that is another draw to keep her eating the way that she's eating, because she doesn't feel like she has to stop because it's paying the bills. She gets all this fame and attention for it. So while she wants to change, not only is her food addiction driving her to keep going, but also the fame and the fortune she's making from it. So she's going to have to do what Nick Ocado hopefully is going to do, and we've talked about before, where he decides it's time to start changing the whole storyline. He needs to stop doing the mukbangs. And once he starts doing a redemption arc to lose weight, he's going to probably have many more supporters. He might lose some of the people who enjoy watching the train wreck, who enjoy watching him eat, but he's going to gain so many more people who might now have respect for him.
Speaking of Nick Cotto, something about Nick. I think somebody said that Nick once said that he was going to build up his channel, make a bunch of money, and he did say that he was going to lose all the weight. Something about Nick. I don't know if everybody knows this about Nick Cotto, but Nick is a professionally trained musician. He went to Juilliard. And that takes a lot of skill, a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication. So that was his background. He wasn't just somebody who got on YouTube and ate a bunch of food. He is a classically trained musician. And if he was accepted into Juilliard, you can imagine like the pressure and the hard work that it takes to get into Juilliard. So if you get into Juilliard, you can do anything. Whereas he's got that professional musician background. Foodie doesn't have that. She doesn't have that mindset of like, I'm going to set my mind to something and I'm going to make it happen. He had that. So because he had that in place, he set a goal. He's going to accomplish a goal. But Foodie doesn't have that structuring in her mind that she can say, well, I've gained all the weight and now I'm going to lose all the weight and have the willpower to make it happen. So like, that's a definite difference between Foodie and Nick Cotto.
You go through his comment list, there's so many disgusted people. Probably more disgusting comments outweigh the positive comments about his behavior. And so if he decides to change, a lot more people are going to have a lot more respect for him, and he might make even more money from that. So Foodie Beauty is going to have to change her entire identity.
Yeah, I mean, look what Nick did. He gained a bunch of weight, but the way he went about things, he did a bunch of videos that he had scheduled for uploads. In the meantime, he was away from the camera, losing weight, getting the surgeries. And then when he came back, it basically broke the internet. The amount of structuring that took, the amount of thinking that went into that nobody knew what he was up to until he revealed himself. It shocked everybody. It made the news. It was crazy.
And that's where it's difficult. So anyways, that's my video for today. I know it's probably going to be like 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. I don't know. But I'm sorry about that. I just enjoy sharing my commentary on stuff like this. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, please hit the subscribe button down below. Check out my About section. I have all kinds of links in there. If you want to join our Discord, if you want to join our Facebook, if you want to send a financial donation to help out our channel, and if you want to send me an email, my email is bigtbariatric@gmail.com. You can send me recipes. You can start a one-on-one conversation with me. You can send me requests, any videos that you want me to react to. Just send the YouTube link in an email.
Okay, so that was the video courtesy of Pastor Tony, and I put the link in the chat. So I thought that would be really interesting to react to. You know, like Chantal likes to say, oh, like you're fat shaming, fat phobia. Well, Foodie, what do you have to say about a man who was once 671 pounds and he's lost over 100 pounds? Like, he's not fat shaming. This is no fat phobia. He's just giving his thoughts as someone that he was super morbidly obese. He's still considered super morbidly obese. This was a while ago, though, so I'm sure he's lost even more weight. But there was no fat shaming. There was no fat phobia. He was just giving his thoughts and his insight. And I thought that'd make an interesting retro react. So I'm going to go, y'all. I'm going to go to bed and cuddle up with the queen. She's been over here like biting on my ankles. Saying, Mother, why aren't you in bed? So I'm going to go curl up with her. And thank you guys for watching and being here tonight. Love having you guys here. I'm going to go and cuddle with the queen. Y'all take care. And I'm going to leave you guys with a great song. Take care, everybody. Good night.